Hello and welcome back to Seconds Out. My name is Eamon Khan. We're in the aftermath of Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, here to get her reaction and talk to her about her boxing future. Is Emily Brooke. Emily, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all. Just hearing that you caught the fight quite recently. But what do you make of Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz?
Um, do you know what? It was really entertaining, especially I think Nate brought that entertainment, didn't he? He was a bit cocky, like pretending to be injured and sort of playing up to the crowd, especially towards the end. Did make me laugh a lot. But I think, do you know what? Jake looked like he had improved a lot. Like he was really utilising the levels and his footwork looked pretty good as well. He was pretty light on his feet. Where there's times where I think he should have done better though, because Nate was square on quite a lot of the time, and I felt like he could have utilised that a lot, especially in the earlier rounds. Obviously when he was feeling fitter, less tired, he could have utilised it a bit more.
Talking about those improvements that you see Jake has made, do you see improvements enough for Jake to go into a Tommy Fury rematch and then win it?
Um, no, because the thing is, I think Tommy Fury's going to be training as like Tommy Fury's not stopped training. He would have improved too. I do think in a rematch, yeah, he's not going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine Tommy Fury taking big breaks at all.
KSI is now taking on Tommy Fury. Do you feel he'll have a better fare against Tommy than Jake did?
Um, do you know what? KSI's got like quite an unusual style, isn't it? It's quite unpredictable and unusual. So if I feel like if Tommy can sort of suss that out, he'll be all right and he'll win the fight. But I reckon if KSI don't do it within the first couple of rounds, I reckon it'll be Tommy. I think it just all depends on how sort of Tommy adapts to that. Yeah, as I said, that unusual style is quite odd. No one else really fights like KSI, do they? He's quite erratic
Mm.
with his movement.
Mm-hmm. Going back to Nate, that was his first, or it was his debut in a boxing ring. We obviously know him as a MMA or UFC legend. Do you think Nate has legs in continuing in the boxing sphere too?
Um, do you know what? I think he just done this for money. Like you could see in there, like he was calling Jake on and he has that dog in him. Like I think for him, it was just a payday. He obviously got paid well to be there. But I don't think in any way he's like, do you know what? This really means something. I want to pursue a boxing career. He's 38 years old. Like for him, he's just sort of fighting aging, isn't he? For him to stay fit, it's just going to get harder and harder as time goes on. I think it was just a one-off payday. And he had fun whilst he's in there. I think you could see that he was enjoying moments of it. He was smiling, winding him up, talking to him. So yeah, I don't think he's if he does take more, I think it'll be like a bit like Floyd Mayweather, where he takes all the influencer fights, and it's
Mm.
more like expeditions. I know this one's pro, but it'll be more that sort of style.
Let's turn attention to yourself, someone who's been having fun in the ring. It wasn't maybe the result you wanted last time out, but I saw your Instagram post just pre this interview. You said, "Thank you, Barbie 360, for giving me a tough fight and putting my chin to the test. I wish you the
Yeah,
best in the rest of the tournament." The dust has settled now. How do you feel about your performance in that fight?
yeah, I think I done well. Like, let's be honest, like well, after her rehydration, that girl was probably 67, 68 kg. If I was naked like she was, I was weighing 60.8 kg. And I've been boxing 4 months and she'd been doing it a long time. I think maybe a couple of years. So yeah, I done really well. I know I said that she wasn't going to knock me out, and I proved to everyone I got a solid chin. Me and my sister always makes jokes with our massive chins. No one's gonna take us down.
What were you like in the immediate minutes? Like when you got to the changing room, were you upset? Like, how did you take the defeat?
No, I was actually really happy. Like, do you know what? The whole experience, you just got to be grateful. No one else really has the opportunity, especially in the arenas that size. We're very lucky to be given that opportunity. I was so grateful for the whole experience. And I enjoy it. Like, I would actually like, I enjoy the whole bout within itself. I enjoy the adrenaline rush. So even though the only thing that got me was that I wish I won for my team. I wanted to bring back that win, especially for my coaches that have put in all that hard work. But I wasn't like crying or anything like that. I
Can you
had a
break
massive
down?
slice of cake in the back room and a shot of tequila.
Can you break down the fight for me? Because it seemed like in the first couple of rounds you were having real trouble with the size and the length of a jab, but then it seemed like you'd figured it out and started like slipping and come over the top, and then you were bothering her with stuff, and then it just seemed like she sort of switched up again and she was kind of putting you on the back foot again. Is that a fair assessment?
Do you know what? I think Barbie was pretty smart because I felt like if you notice, within the last 10 to 15 seconds of the round, she really put it on me. When I watched it back, and then obviously that is what like the judges are always going to remember. I think she's very smart for fighting like that. I think maybe she was sort of letting me do that, and then towards the end putting all that pressure on. You know, when like you sort of hear that knock. Yeah, I think that's when she really goes for it. And that girl, she was coming out like this, like there was no opportunity to have a breather. The one thing I did do though, which I was taught in training, which I didn't do, was stepping off to the side. You'll be amazed at what your coaches train you to do, but what is your natural reaction at the time. But yeah, there's things I didn't do where if I have a taller opponent again, I'm gonna have to get that drilled into me.
Do you take pride in the fact that, look, you didn't get the victory, but you put in like a proper valiant effort, and lesser people would have crumbled in the face of that pressure? And we've seen that in the ring time and time again in boxing. Essentially, no one wants to get tagged with the label, but they get called quitters. But you never quit. You kept coming and kept trying to win.
Yeah, as I said, like I do generally enjoy it. Like whilst you're in there, do you know what? I like it always looks worse than what it is. Rachel was hitting me with the shots. At times I was like, fucking hell, when I watch that back, it looks awful. But at the time, it was I didn't feel like, oh my God, like she's hammering me. It was just more like reset, get back in it. Not once did I want to quit. And at the time, it doesn't hurt, but don't get me wrong, as soon as you go in that medical room and 15 minutes later and your adrenaline wears off, you're like, oh, like, I need an ibuprofen. My face is getting a little sore. But yeah, it always looks worse than what it is. I enjoyed every moment being in there.
Now, the question is, moving forward, will you be competing in the final?
So my sister and I, obviously we were next in the match up and we said we are not going to do it in the losers bracket. And to be honest, I'm not sure when the final was. I thought it was going to be in August because that's what everyone's contracts is written till. At the moment, I'm just going to train, and then when I feel like I'm ready next for I'm going to come back to it. But I want to train for a bit first. As I said, I'm very sort of inexperienced to everyone in the social media influencer field still, in terms that I literally had 4 months training. My first fight, I had 6.5 weeks, where people had much longer. I think Daniela had like 10, but everyone else after that had like a year plus training. So I feel like I just want to do a little bit more catching up. Maybe someone in my weight class, because I was fighting above as well. Me, Amber and Elle were fighting way above our weight class. I reckon 56 to 58 I'll be fighting at. Even 58 is maybe a bit heavy. Yeah, I think I want to go for someone in my weight class next.
So just to be clear with that, you and your sister it's still on the table that you two will have a fight in the future, but it won't be next.
It's always that possibility, yeah. We'll have to see. I think she's just doing a bit of travelling at the moment. And to be fair to her, she's done it back to back for like a year. I've always told her, I'm like, you work too hard. Like, you need to go enjoy yourself. So that's what she's doing at the moment, living her best life.
How was she after her defeat? Again, another grueling affair. And again, the same can be said of, it must run in the family that you two you didn't quit in the face of real adversity. And again, didn't get the victory, but again, a valiant effort too from her.
Yeah, so she was she was quite upset. She posted it on her story. She posted that Albert post like with the letter L, loser, crying. She did take it pretty hard. And it took her a bit of time, to be honest, to sort of be a bit like more uplifted again. I told her to watch it back because it's not as bad as what she thought it was. Like, I think for her it felt worse than what it was. But again, like, Jolly's a lot like weight classes above her. We've come up. I said she should be proud. Jolly's been fighting years. Jully, sorry. But yeah, that girl's been doing mixed martial arts since she was a child. Like, she had a tough challenge. And that's the one thing you can like say about me and my sister is that we're not scared to take on that challenge. Some people sort of hide away, don't they? And they will take comfortable fights. We would never do that. I do like a challenge. I don't ever want it easy.
Fair enough and fair to you. A couple of things before I let you go. Who wins the Kingpin female tournament? Do you think it's Barbie or do you think it's Jully?
I think it's going to be Jully, to be honest. Yeah, that girl really knows how to work her levels. As long as she stays in the pocket, and she, as I said, she is incredibly strong. Like, she can squat weight, and that is her losing weight. So, like, I can't even imagine how strong she is when, yeah, she's not had to do all this dehydration and everything. So, yeah, I think it's gonna be, yeah, I think as long as she can work with levels, it's going to be Jully.
And then Astrid Wet had an interesting interaction, I guess, last week. She was supposed to be taking on an opponent, Alexia Grace, but that got called off. Did you catch that? What was your reaction to that?
It's so obviously staged. I think this was like a coup. Is that what is the word? Yeah, coup for Misfits to take it on. Like, I think for them to take it on, like, I reckon they'll turn around and say, oh, well, we'll take it on. So there's security there, there's safety measures. Obviously, when you have fake beef, stuff doesn't always go to plan. So I don't know how much is fake, but it does look very sort of staged. There's questionable things in the setup and stuff.
There was an interesting moment on the card as well, the Kingpin last card in Dublin, where Daniela Hemsley set the internet on fire as well with a showreel moment, to say the least, I guess. What was your thoughts? She's caught some flack for it, but she's also kind of boosted herself too as well.
Yeah, she definitely became an internet sensation overnight. She was like, the amount of people following that made a comment on it, and there were some people even backing her, like massive MMA fighters. I think there was a few bare knuckle fighters. There was backlash. I remember I was in the back of the changing rooms, like getting ready for my fight, and we had it on in the corner of the screen, and I just went, oh, no, she didn't, and I couldn't stop laughing, bless her. But no, it is what it is at the end of the day. She obviously felt so happy that she wanted to get her tits out, bless her. I was wanting to knock, my little brothers were there as well. I was like, you saw your first pair of tits that day.
Emily, I'll leave the final word with you. You say you're going to be training, you'll be preparing. If you had it your way, and if you are on the Kingpin final, who would you like to be up against?
I don't mind. As I said, I will fight. But I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy the process. I enjoy challenging. The more challenging it is, like, the harder it makes you want to work, isn't it? Like, it's the difference between when you're at home, you go, like, for a run once or twice more that week. Like, that's I honestly don't mind. So,
Emily, a real pleasure speaking to you. Hoping to see you back in the ring soon. Thank you for speaking to SecondsOut, and we'll see you hopefully soon.
Yeah, thank you.